All right, good evening everyone. It's now 6:30 and I'll declare this agenda briefing forum is open. I'd like to ask Councillor Melrosa to please read the Acknowledgement of Country.
Nyan Jerapin Wajak Nunga Buja Yakin Nija Bilyabado. I'm honoured to be standing on Wajak Nunga country on the banks of the Swan River. Nyan Kadich Nunga Mort Kanekadik Nija Wajak Nunga Buja. Nyan Kadich Nija Nunga Berdia Korea Yeyi Borda Balapin Mudich Nunga Kadijan Mort Where Buja Yeyi. I acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land and respect past, present and emerging leaders, their continual cultural heritage, beliefs and relationship with the land, which continues to be important today. Nyan Yanka Balapan Nunga Berdier Where Mort Nija Buja. I thank them for the contribution made to life in the town of Victoria Park and to this region.
Thanks, Councillor Melrosa. Item 4 is announcements from the presiding member. Firstly, the purpose of the agenda briefing forum is to provide an opportunity for elected members to ask questions and obtain additional information on officer reports in the draft ordinary council meeting agenda. It's not a decision-making forum, nor is it open for debate. Members of the public that may be directly affected by an item on the agenda can make presentations, deputations, statements and ask questions prior to the matter being formally considered by council at the next ordinary council meeting. All participation in the meeting will be audio recorded and live streamed on the town's website. The live stream will be archived and made available on the town's website after the meeting. All those in attendance are expected to extend due courtesy and respect to the meeting by refraining from making any adverse or defamatory remarks regarding council, the town staff or any elected member. No one shall create a disturbance at a meeting by interrupting or interfering with the proceedings through expressing approval or dissent, by conversing or by any other means. All questions and statements made by members of the public are not to personalise any elected member or member of town staff. Questions and statements are to be directed to the presiding member, who may choose to call upon an officer of the town or another elected member to assist with responses. There is an opportunity to ask questions and make statements at the beginning and end of this meeting. The opportunity to ask questions and make statements at the end of the meeting is limited to those members of the public who did not participate in the first public participation time at this meeting. Public participation will be held for a maximum of 30 minutes, with additional time to be by agreement from the meeting in 5-minute increments. Responses to questions that are taken on notice that relate to an agenda item will be presented in the officer report for the ordinary council meeting agenda under the heading Further Consideration for that item. Item 4 on the agenda is attendance. We have all elected members in attendance, together with a number of the town staff led by the Chief Executive Officer, Mr Askew. We have no apologies and no one on approved leave of absence. Item 6 is declarations of interest. Mr CEO, do you have any declarations of interest, please?
I've received none, Mayor Vernon.
Thank you. Are there any interests that people need to declare but haven't already done so? No? All right. Item 10, sorry. I don't know why I went from item 6 to item 10, wishful thinking, but since it's not a long agenda, item 7 is public participation time, which I open at 6:33 p.m, but noting that there are no members of the public in the public gallery, I'll close that at 6:33 p.m. Item 8 is presentations, there are none. Item 9, deputations, there are none. Item 10 is method of dealing with agenda business. As per our usual practice for agenda briefing forums, we confine ourselves to those items in the agenda for which elected members wish to ask questions. At the moment, there is only 11.2, which is Black Swan State Theatre Company Partnership, the pool update and funding, Aqualife December 2026. Are there any other items on the agenda that elected members wish to ask questions about? No? All right. So item 11 is the Chief Executive Officer report. So we're going to 11.2, which is the Black Swan State Theatre funding. I did submit a number of questions, which I think everyone should have had perhaps an opportunity, I hope, to have seen some of the answers. But given the breadth of those answers, I'm going to ask those questions so that they go on the record, because there might be others who have questions arising out of the answers that have been provided. So on that basis, starting with the first of the questions. So my first question is in relation to as the report doesn't cover these issues, I was seeking more details to be provided about the financial funding that is sought and also the in-kind support. Understand the town have provided all elected members with some attachment documents, a ticket sales calculator document and economics benefits information. Can I ask, and I'm not sure who's going to answer these questions on this matter, I think it might be you, Mr. CEO. The documents that were sent through to elected members by email, are they going to somehow be coming to council in the report when it appears in the OCM agenda in 2 weeks' time?
There's no reason why there can't be attachments to that report, yes.
All right, because I don't think it'll be possible for elected members to adequately take them into account otherwise. My next question is, how is it in the space of 3 to 4 months since this matter was last before council that Black Swan Theatre now needs $70,000 in cash from the town to put on a production for what will be 3 shows, when that was not the case when it was presented to council in June 2025? Mr. CEO.
Thank you, Mayor, for the question. The initial proposal was presented by Black Swan Theatre Company to staff at Aqualife, who aren't involved in the development of funding agreements with arts organisations. The administration understood the proposal was for in-kind support only. However, when the pre-production meetings and the agreement terms were being developed by the administration, it was clear that elements of the partnership agreement hadn't been clear. Further investigation should have taken place prior to the initial June council report.
All right, thank you. My second question, what is the total cost, internal and or external, of each of the in-kind contributions that appear in paragraph 6 of the officer's report? Mr. CEO.
Thank you for the question. The final in-kind support amount is not known, as the fees and charges for 2026-27 financial year have not yet been set. However, an estimate of those costs include pool access and water space and venue hire, $525. Qualified lifeguards to Royal Life Saving Standards, $1,435. Dressing rooms, front of house and ushering, nil. Basic technical setup, nil. Audience and infrastructure and crowd management is yet to be confirmed. Parking crew and audience VIP parking is nil. However, there will be parking for cast and crew provided. Truck access delivery also nil, and access for disability support services is yet to be determined.
Thank you. Does paragraph 6, Roman 3, involve the provision of temporary structures and or staff? Mr. CEO.
Front of house and ushering will have a level of Aqualife staff involvement. However, this should be covered under the normal provisions of running the facility and shouldn't require additional staff hours or budget. The final roster of hours and tasks will be finalised in the pre-production meetings.
Thank you. I'm going to ask a follow-up question based on that answer. I note that there will be close to a month worth of rehearsals at the facility for this play, and then the play itself will be requiring the Aqualife to close earlier than its normal closure time. Does that indicate that we won't be having staff that would cover the usual running of the facility if it's going to be operating both the rehearsals and the shows itself after the normal closure of the Aqualife? Mr. CEO.
That I'm not sure of, Mayor Vernon. I'll take that one on notice if I can. Thank you.
Thank you. If we could take that on notice, please. Thank you. Next question. Does paragraph 6, Roman 4, involve the town supplying or hiring equipment and or technical staff? Mr. CEO.
No, all sound and lighting infrastructure and staffing will be supplied by Black Swan's Theatre. The town does need to provide safe access to power and also the town's PA system.
Thank you. In the report, paragraph 6, Roman 5, what is meant by audience infrastructure Does this involve the town supplying or hiring equipment such as seating, etc.? Does this involve the town employing security or crowd control personnel? Mr. CEO.
Audience infrastructure could include seating or roped off areas for people in wheelchairs or needing visual access to an Auslan interpreter. The intention would be for Black Swan to utilise existing seating already owned by the town. There is the potential in the final event layout for additional fencing or seating that we do not own and may need to be hired. However, this isn't expected. The town wouldn't have any involvement in security. This will be done by Black Swan Theatre.
Thank you. In terms of the report, paragraph 6, Roman 6, does that involve providing parking staff, Mr. CEO?
The parking required would be for the cast and crew and the loading of trucks for rehearsal. For the evening and the production, the impact would be minimal as we would provide access to staff parking. No formal parking management will be necessary.
Thank you. In paragraph 6, Roman 8 of the report, what is involved in providing access and disability support services? Does this involve the town supplying or hiring equipment or personnel? Mr. CEO.
The access to disability support element can be decided by the town. The event will offer standard access and inclusion elements, wheelchair accessibility, hearing loops, etc. However, we may opt to offer access and inclusion features beyond these standard measures, for example, an Auslan interpreter. This will be organised and paid for by the town. The administration intends to engage the Access and Inclusion Advisory Committee to develop and cost these elements and present them within the 26-27 budget.
Thank you. In the report, under the heading Financial Implications, firstly, what is the basis for the statement that the forecast for the initial investment of $70,000 funding by the town is to be fully offset by retained ticket income, Mr. CEO?
The town pays the $70,000 to host the production, and then the town retains ticket sales to offset that cost.
Thank you. Flow on question from that. What is the risk to the town that the ticket sales will not amount to sufficient to offset the $70,000, Mr. CEO?
It certainly is a possibility. However, we've obviously based our information on previous information provided by the town of Cambridge, and we're therefore hopeful that we will get close to a break even.
Has the town staff conducted a risk assessment of this particular production, given that this is 3 performances and the show ran at Bold Park in the town of Cambridge for 15 performances? Mr. CEO.
I might take that one on notice, Mayor Vernon. I don't believe we've undertaken a risk assessment at this stage.
Thank you. Again, under the heading Financial Implications, what is meant by, and I quote, royalties 13% on net box office retained by Black Swan? Mr. CEO.
Black Swan Theatre pays ticket royalties to the writer of the production, and this represents 13% of the total box office.
Thank you. Point of clarification in terms of the answer. The answer says 13% of the total box office, but the statement under financial implications says 13% on the net box office retained by Black Swan, which to me reads net after expenses, not total box office takings. Mr. CEO.
Might seek clarification from our Chief Financial Officer, but if not, we might take them on notice.
We'll take that on notice, thank you. Next point, again under financial implications, how has the net surplus of approximately $7,137 before any internal costs associated with the in-kind support been calculated? Mr. CEO.
We have circulated a spreadsheet based on assumed numbers, and that's how we've based the calculation and the dollar figure represented.
Just to clarify with your answer, Mr. CEO, I understand the answer sent by email said a spreadsheet will be provided with the calculations, not that one had been circulated, which was your answer. Could you please clarify which it is, Mr. CEO?
I need to go back and check. I thought it was one of the two attachments that got separately circulated. If not, I will follow up and make sure that it's included.
It isn't. The attachments are the pool ticket sales and the pool culture counts data, which is about patrons who attended the event, not the costs. Next question, what are the estimated ticket sales and how have these figures been derived? Mr CEO.
Ticket sales, again, are based on a benchmark from the production which was hosted at Bold Park.
Next question, how has the economic benefit to the town been determined? Mr CEO.
Economic benefit was determined based on the reported data from culture counts on the impacts of the production being hosted at Bold Park. We expect the economic benefit to the town to be higher as there are food and beverage facilities closer than Bold Park. The culture counts information will be provided as an appendices.
Thank you. What happens if the performances are cancelled or if the performances do not achieve a maximum number of fully paid tickets? Mr CEO.
Cancelled production due to weather will be rescheduled. Cancelled due to any fault by Black Swan would mean the town doesn't pay. But if ticket sales are less than expected, then the town will not recoup the total amount spent.
Thank you. Follow-up question for that. What risk assessment has the town made about its position regarding ticket sales being less than expected, resulting in the town not being able to recoup the $70,000? Mr CEO.
Yes, as indicated, Mayor Vernon, I'll take that one on notice. I don't believe we've undertaken that risk assessment at this stage.
All right. Thank you. In light of the information that's not contained in the officer's report that doesn't appear to have been the subject of a risk assessment, how is it that the town is recommending that council endorse this proposal for $70,000 to be spent on an event to be held in 15 or so months' time, Mr. CEO?
Again, happy to take that one on notice in terms of a more fuller response, but certainly the initial assessment by officers is that this presents good value for money for the community in terms of both the balance of expenditure and ticket sales and income received.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from elected members about this? Councillor Minson first, then Councillor Devereux.
Thank you, Mayor Vernon. Just a few follow-up questions from those answers and a few new ones. The estimated cost for the in-kind service of the free use of the venue for rehearsals and the show, so that's stated as approximately 30 hours to a total value of $525. So is it $525 to effectively hire out most of Aqualife for 30 hours?
Mr. CEO.
Don't have that information, Councillor. I might need to take that on unless the Chief Financial Officer is aware of that response. Thank you.
I think we'll make sure we take that one on notice because I think the $525 divided by 30 hours runs at about $17.50 an hour. I'm pretty sure, I'd be pretty hopeful we don't rent out the whole Aqualife for $17.50 an hour. Councillor Minson?
Yeah, thank you. Similar, the estimated cost, do we have an estimated cost to the town for the associated joint marketing plan, which is referenced in the recommendation? And I guess, do we have kind of estimated hours of time spent by our employees carrying out that marketing plan?
Mr. CEO?
Thank you for the question, and no, I will need to take that one on notice. I don't have that information.
We'll take that on notice. Councillor Minson?
Another question, I guess, around the likely number of ticket sales. Do we have an estimate of what the actual capacity of the venue in that arrangement would be? And then I guess to follow up to that, the number of sales we're estimating, what's that as in terms of a percentage capacity of the venue?
Mr. CEO?
Again, I'll need to take that one on notice. I don't have the venue capacity, I'm sorry.
Thank you. And last question, the economic benefits report provided to councillors referenced, I think the event held at Bold Park, and it talked about food and beverage kind of sales generation. Are we planning on having, I guess, external food and beverage options at the site? Like I know that the previous Pride Pool Festival, we had food vans and kind of a pop-up pub and, well, you know, place where you could buy drinks and stuff. Is that also the assumption here, that we'd run kind of food and beverages in addition to, I guess, the cafe?
Mr CEO.
Again, I'll need to take that one on notice. Thank you, Councillor.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Councillor Minson. Councillor Devereux.
Thanks, Mayor Vernon. I did send this query around earlier in response to the answers that we received to the earlier questions, but it was just to ask if there's any data from the experience at Bold Park in terms of number of tickets sold or the income gained from the Bold Park Theatre. Thanks.
Mr CEO.
Thank you for the question, Councillor. No, I don't have that information, but I'm sure we can request it from Town of Cambridge.
Thanks.
Are there any other questions about this? Deputy Mayor Ife.
Thank you. I appreciate this probably will also need to be taken on notice. Thinking about the risk to the town in the other direction, the risk to us if we don't go ahead with this $70,000, do we have an understanding of whether Black Swan has approached other local governments, other pools, and is considering other options?
Mr CEO.
No, we're not aware of whether they have or they haven't.
Are there any other questions about this item? No? All right. There being no other items on the agenda that elected members indicated they had questions about, we go now to item 15, committee reports. There are none. Item 16, motion of which previous notice has been given. There are none. Item 17 is public participation time, which I open at 6:52 p.m, but noting there is no members of the public in the gallery, I'll close it at 6:52 p.m. Item 18, questions from members without notice on general matters. Are there any such questions? Councillor Devereux.
Thanks, Mayor Vernon. Just a question that I've had recently from several members of the community, just about with the Long Park opening and Metronet being almost completed now, whether the median strip or whatever it's called down the middle of Shepparton Road would be removed or not. Thanks.
Thanks. I'll refer that to the Chief Community Planner, Mr. Doy.
Thanks, Mayor Vernon. Thanks for the question, Councillor Devereux. Yes, at the time that the level crossing removal project and the Carlisle Oat Street station upgrade was being planned, the main roads included a median down Shepparton Road to facilitate efficient bus movements. Now that the Armidale line is about to open again, the time is now for the town to request that main roads review the decision to include the median treatment all the way down Shepparton Road as it is in Victoria Park. At the time that it was planned, main roads did say that they wanted to conduct broad community consultation as to those median strips to see whether the broader community wanted them to remain or to be removed. I don't exactly know what broad community consultation means, other than to say it includes the town of Victoria Park administration as well as the local community. Now that we are nearing the time of the Armidale line reopening, I have made a request to Main Roads to review the median strips, and I have received an email back on Friday from Main Roads saying that they are discussing the matter with senior management and they will get back to us shortly.
Thank you.
Any other questions from elected members without notice? No. All right. Item 19 is confidential matters. There are none. So at 6:54 p.m, I declare the agenda briefing forum is closed. Thank you, everyone who joined us on live streaming. Good night.